Mheshimiwa Njoroge Wainaina and Mrs. Wainaina. Mrs. Njoroge, not Mrs. Wainaina. Mama Wainaina. Yeah, that is my MP. So, and you and your family, first family huko Kenya. And I think I know them more. Nikianza kwa Hemdan. Sinaeleweka. Now, the chairman and the board of directors, James Getinga and your team, mkiwa na Gambi na wale wengine, supervisory board, CEO Goge na team yako, fellow members, may I take this opportunity to introduce my staff. If you are here, your staff just stand. I know I have director cooperatives, I have the deputy governor na hii watu yangu yote. Simumeona kuna waziri mmoja pale ambaye yuko Margaret. Waziri Margaret yuko hapo, and waziri Kendi is there, director, the chief officer Mwangi, director yuko pale Theuri, na wengine ni watu wangu lakini majina sijui. Siwatambui vizuri lakini hivi karibuni. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I think today is a very, very important day. Oh, sorry, Wakuraya, I didn't say hi. We love country. And I know there are also other guests around here, cooperators. Nimeona chairman wa ile inaitwa New 40s. Are there any other cooperators? Wapi cooperative officers? Corporate officials? Wako wapi wale ambao ni waniambukuita simu? You have cooperation among cooperators. Yeah, very good. I can see them there. Can you wave at me? Thank you very much. Yeah, good. I'm happy now. I know whom I will be addressing, because I do not want to just address the staff and members of Taifa. I want to address the cooperative movement in Nyeri. As we sit here today, we must walk back. Why is my Reverend Kirade? I am very happy to see you. I was asking, we miss you, but then you had to get a promotion to go to a city, and we cannot stand back and stop you. So at least najua Kahiga ako na mtu. Mumesikia hiyo mtu amejaa akili? Sio wale watu wanatuambia ati ila mwale liana kiroho. He's speaking from knowledge, isn't it? And thank you very much. You need to come siku ingine uongee na hao watu, so that the issue of thinking. As we stand here today, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed with pride that we walk back to a book in the Bible called the book of Habakkuk, which, although my MP said, the book of Habakkuk chapter number 3 verses 2 says, write your vision in bold letters. It may tarry, but finally it will come. The vision that was written by Amze I knew, alikuwa naishi pale karibu kwa ile mlima ya Karema, among the original cooperators. Gambe will remember, Kingori wa Mainge. It has started, but it has taken 50 years, but here we are. We now have the magnificent plaza called the Taifa Circle building. We also have Taifa Circle that no one can ignore in this country. It cuts across, and it is important now that kama ni James tutaondoa na wengine, waache kufikiria Kinyeri, anza kufikiria Kikenya. You get my point? It is important that we now start thinking outside Nyeri, because if you remember the commissioning by God himself, he said, on that land that you shall put your foot, then it shall become your land. I'm glad when I go to Nairobi naona New 40s mahali, but we need to go out of this country, go to Loitokitok and provide services there, ladies and gentlemen. And so as I join you today, as we celebrate the 50 years of us coming away from that NDCU building, because I was here. In 1974, I was a student in St. Mary's, Nyeri. And we saw it grow. You remember the lines of the farmers as they came to collect their payments around that area. Even before, until the union came up and did all that and built whatever it built, and here we are today. This is great resilience. And it has taken many hands. But beyond everything else, we must use this as a foundation for where we are going tomorrow. Fellow cooperators, we must also say something that is killing cooperatives in this country. Cooperatives must be managed like professional businesses. They cannot continue. I don't want to hear. I had someone come from inaitwa nini ya kina Mungora hii Mugaga. It is time we walked away from secretary managers. That is a big joke. We want CEOs, not secretary managers, because it's a new professional line of thinking. You cannot put new wine in old wineskins and expect that life will go on as it should. It is important that we modernize our circles and reason in a beautiful new way. I do not know whether we are focusing that way into the future, because the cooperative movement is God's way of blessing his people. And there are no two ways about it. Because it is only in the cooperative movement that Mheshimiwa Wainaina is an MP, is a managing director of, I don't know, a chain of supermarkets. No, they know our cooperative will aparagona kureo. Did you know that? But in a company, he has a controlling share. But in the cooperative movement, it gives us equal say within, because that is the foundation of the cooperative movement. As we sit there and as we focus, Taifa Sacco now must also start moving, and I'm glad, Goge, you are there. You must now bring in the new thinking. It's called AI, artificial intelligence, and you be very careful. No, my Kiriako, no, Ketulibia. Ma transfer ila the kirongo kimwe. So how do you get there? You must also make sure that you keep abreast. You cannot wake up and sit back and say tumefika, sasa ni Quran like it was running. My deputy governor and myself are cooperators. You have heard his history. He has been the CEO of Afia Sacco 36 years. You can't take him away from cooperatives. Mutahi Kahiga is known, has been chairman, I don't know of which one. We've been there in the cooperative movement. And I'm glad that today, what we have come to say here is a celebration. And I must tell you another secret. One of the reasons I agreed to be a guest of honor, even when the board came to see me, I told them, my friends, I want to tell you a story of one time when I was in a cooperative. And our cooperative, our lifeline for teachers was messed by building a building. Have you made that mistake? And I called my director and said, Director Kaapa, I want to confirm. And I want to stand here and say that Taifa Sacco has gone in the right way. If you want to diversify, you must never walk away from your original thinking. Your original thinking is the farmer, is the member, how they get their pay. If you are going to diversify, you must now go away and do what you have done, share holding. So people build up their shares to go and put up that building separately, but not interfering with the day-to-day running. Ask me, we got to a situation as a teacher's circle where you had to, if you want a loan, you have to come to this town, spend a night in a lodging, so that in the morning you are at the circle office at 4 a.m. lining up, waiting for a form to get a loan. Today, I want to appreciate the management of that circle, because The SACCO is fluid, it is liquid, it is you get loans on phones. That is where good management is. And I want to thank Taifa SACCO because you are also not walking in that direction. You are walking as you should. And mine is to congratulate you and to tell you that the future is bright for you. But the future is always built on a platform, on a foundation of what you have just been told, of what are your thoughts. As a man thinketh, so he is. And now for Taifa SACCO, as Taifa SACCO thinketh, so it shall become. Are we there? So it shall become. I also want to talk about one component, Chairman, that many people ignore, and that is called the staff. Nyeri County was a big problem, you people know. You could hardly get services here. Things were not working because nobody gave a damn about the staff. The staff, people think, are only interested in money. They are not. They are interested in welfare. They are interested in security. They are interested in a human treatment within the environment that they are working. If you put staff in an environment where they may not be able to, they are not able to perform because you have not provided, then how will they work? You want them to be efficient, you have no laptops. You want them to be efficient, they cannot move from one corner to the other to go and follow up on loans that are outstanding. So you must provide for them. But beyond that, when a member of staff knows that this institution cares about me, and for that I want to tell you, the first thing I did in Nyeri County, today as you speak, I converted everybody from contract to permanent. Because if you are permanent, you have a future in that. You are working, and it is important that people know. There is a lot of story about contracts and whatever. Contracts are very, very expensive to run because at the end of a contract you must pay gratuity. And that gratuity, I do not know how you save it. But if you focus on telling one of your staff, a staff, you are permanent. So this staff can plan and say, I want to take a loan of 20 million to put up a house, to put up a business. You have good staff. Listen to Mheshimiwa Njoroge. He says the staff is very good. They will be stolen if you are not taking care of them. And therefore you must take care of your staff, ensure they are comfortable. And people think that staff just want money. It's not necessarily money. Make sure that there is progression. I was employed as, I don't know what grades you use, maybe put it Taifa SACCO G2. Will I ever get to G7? Is there progression? Is it going to be that people who don't work, people who come late, people who don't do it, they keep going up the ladder and I am left there? I will definitely not work very well. Are we together? I hope I am saying something to you. That is the way. And let me tell you this, I feel the pain. Like right now, this year, Nyeri has lost 35 nurses. They have gone to Britain. I have only allowed because they are going to get more money. But I feel pain when one of my nurses, well trained in Nyeri, wants to go to Murang'a because amedanganywa huko kuna kitu. Anaenda anafika huko miezi minne hajalipa mshahara, ananipigia simu, naweza rudi. You get what I'm talking about? Protect the staff so that we are able to go. Ladies and gentlemen, you have grown exponentially from 9,000 members to 180,000 members. That is your strength. That you must invest in that membership. Education is key. If it is not done, you will lose members. And the members will become gullible. They will listen to rumors. They will listen to the wrong stories. Taifa neragwa for nothing. And you know, if your members get out, what happens? You are left naked. If they start to withdraw, panic withdrawals, you lose it all. So as we sit here today, ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate the workings of 50 years, I am glad we have not forgotten where we came from. If you go through the book of the Bible, Israel walks and then walks back a little and says, if it were not for God, would we have made it here? Let Israel say. So we must never forget the pillars, the pioneers, and the journey that we took to be where we are. Now that we are there, can we then dream and dream big? I take you back to the book of Habakkuk, chapter number 3, verses 2, that we must now rewrite. The Bible says don't change anything in that book, but let us change it today for our sake. Can we rewrite now our vision in bold letters, even if it now tarries a further, because we are already where we are at 50. Where do we want to be at 100? How many of us are even going to be there at 100? So let's now draw that and look at it. Last but not least, as we go there to open up the magnificent, you have made Nyeri, the face of Nyeri change. You know that is Grogon. Grogon, you know, Grogon. You join Biashara Sacco, you join the Catholics with Inyadha Plaza, and which other building that is coming up somewhere. Because there are not very many, I count them. And I know the challenge. Many of our buildings would come up in Nyeri, but we have so many cases around the properties. Families cannot agree, so they are not able to sell etc. But I want to congratulate you because of giving Nyeri a new face. And I want to thank God, Mheshimiwa yuko hapa. He has also renovated this place, and we sent once again. We really feel that this was the wrong thing to be done. But we thank God for your resilience, for the spirit to fight on, and for your bravery to just move on. Because, you know, many people say that when you fall down, there are choices. You can either remain down, you can either wake up and go back, or you can wake up, brush yourself, and move on. We need to encourage Mheshimiwa by giving him a wonderful, wonderful clap. Because I know the pain that he was in. We struggled, and you remember, there was really genuinely no reason for anybody to be attacking him. But it happened, and we must say, thank God that you have pulled through. When we look at our town, you really look, and I have told my people, all the buildings around, that building must now be painted, because they look that, you have made them look that, just like we told Nyadha, we want a new face for Nyeri. May I now thank you so very much that you are here in this momentous moment, to just be here and share with us this golden opportunity to be here to rewrite history, so that 50 years from now, they will say that building was opened by a man they were calling Mwalimu Mutahi. I thank God that this is the first function I am officiating as a doctor. I was wondering, 2 days ago I went to Kemu to get whatever. It was in the midst of a lot of trouble because our hero was in hospital, you know, regarding Gachagua, and he is our hero. And as we sat there, I was torn in between and asking myself, why does this one happen this time, and what are we doing? And I said, Mutiorego temo, niweka gatia, niuhedo kaga. We continue saying, I want to appreciate every one of us. And because I have heard your CEO talk about it, I have heard the chairman talk about it, about having the PhD. I want to confirm it's true. I also want to confirm that it has taken many years of a lot of work. It is a lot of resilience. You know, I don't know whether you ever saw me seated as a governor, seated in a classroom, seated doing exams. And I'm there seated, and I'm looking at these people, they are walking around, and someone whom I think is earning less than my directors is telling me, is walking around and telling me, have you finished? And I say, no. I say, I'm still writing. He says, time is almost up. I say, so it takes, you know, like my brother said, Reverend Kerade, when you set up your mind to do something, do you really think I needed a PhD? I'm asking you, do you really think I needed a PhD? When ni wapi umeona mahali wanaandika, we are looking for former governors tupatie our kazi? So I'm not looking for a job. But I thank God that I committed. I remember we started with Baba Wainaina here. We would meet in the new Kemu there. You remember, that was 2010. We were seated, we were out there trying to, wakati Kemu ilikuwa huko, yeye anapanda huko na mimi napanda huko. I was struggling with my masters, he was struggling with his bachelor's degree. So what am I saying today? When I look around, it is important for all of us, and I want to speak to the youth. And when I mean youth, I mean everyone younger than Grace Gambe. Munanisikia? If I say the youth, I'm talking to someone younger than Grace Gambe. I want to tell you a few things. Number one, it is important and better to be prepared for an opportunity and not get it. What do I mean? You have a job with Taifa Sacco. So you are there, you are complacent, and you are okay. Don't be satisfied. That is not the way to go. Go to school and increase your employability. Are we together? Because it's possible. The final thing I want to say to the same youth is that learning is a continuous process. The last lesson all of us are going to learn is called How to Die. Have you ever seen a book written How to Die? Have you ever seen a book? Can you go to a library and say, excuse me, do you have a book called How to Die? Even go to a bookshop, that book has not yet been written because there is nobody to write. They write why you die, but not how to die. Why? Because wewe peke yako, that is a lesson you learn alone, but you don't come back to teach us. Are we together? So learning is a life continuous process. Never give up. Continue learning. If you realize that you have gotten to the end of learning, learn a new language. How many people can speak Luo? None. You are speaking Kikuyu. Then learn Kimeru. If you can't learn that, that is a challenge for you. As I sit here today, I want to congratulate Taifa Sacco. I want to wish you well as you get into the second phase of your very, very, very ambitious plan. Do not stop where you are. Keep going. I have told you, think beyond the boundaries of Nyeri. Go beyond. Go beyond Nakuru. Go to Kisumu. Go everywhere else because you are Taifa. You are no longer Nyeri Farmer Sacco. You are Taifa Sacco. So that then this man can become promoted to be a GMD. GMD means Group Managing Director. Right now he is just a CEO. So if you want to give him promotion, push and push further. Last but not least, may I wish you the very best.